Hey there, and welcome to Beer in Canada again. I'm Chris.
And I'm Raul.
And today we're going to be talking about pumpkin beers, in particular the Great Lakes Pumpkin Ale. But to begin with, we did a little bit of research, or more accurately, Raul did a little bit of research on the pumpkin beer style. And so why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what you were discovering today?
Okay, so pumpkin ale, just if you're curious, is generally only made around Thanksgiving, Halloween time. So I guess the fall, late summer, early autumn. Trying to figure out why, like, where did this pumpkin ale come from? Because we have all kinds of different types of beer. So the pumpkin ale was made, the first reference they found was in 1863 in a city called Hadley, somewhere in the United States. And apparently the story was that they were running out of hops to make their beer. They made beer weekly. And so they ran out of hops and they thought, let's throw in some pumpkin. Let's add a little bit of apples. And so whatever they had in the area, they decided to throw it in, and that's pretty much where pumpkin ale came from. They made it, but they would mix it with rum and brown sugar, heat it up, and it was a drink called flip. So they would not necessarily drink pumpkin ale alone, but they'd use it as an additive to another drink. And it wasn't until about 1980 did Buffalo Bill Brewing create the first pumpkin ale, which I think has pretty much taken off. And as far as I understand, they still create
So this is the Great Lakes Pumpkin Ale. They've been doing this for a few years. I think I first discovered the pumpkin ale in 2007, shortly after I started home brewing. I think that's right. Might have been 2006, but either way, they've been brewing it for a while. Now, you like to read, so...
Yeah, as I say, well, we don't have to read about this. Let's just get to the beer.
Let's get right to the beer. We're talking a good-sized bottle. This is 650 milliliters. And this is available in the LCBO if you happen to be in Ontario. I'm not sure about distribution outside of Ontario, unfortunately. You can also get this if you go down to the Great Lakes Brewery, which is in the southwest area of Toronto.
Yes.
So I'm going to give this a kind of an aggressive pour,
yes,
so that we can really open up the aromas. And since there's lots, we can give this a nice...
Yes. And so again, the aggressive pour is to add the head.
Which, what do you see here so far in terms of our appearance?
Well, I was going to say, just not even the appearance, like the aroma has hit me, but it's a nice color. Actually, I can't get over the aroma. It's just
already hitting us, and we haven't even
brought it close.
We end up with kind of a little bit of a hazy orange gold color with, I would call that kind of an off-white head. Yeah. But it's not too bad, you know. It's 8 fingers worth based on our pour. Yeah. Naturally, the head will vary based on the aggressiveness of your pour. And if you just pour this, as I've found in the past, if you just pour this as you would a regular beer instead of aggressively like that, the head is fairly light. But in this case, it's all right. And
the carbonation is you won't be able to see it. We don't have...
You can just see it streaming off the side of the glass.
So it's not too bad. There's some beers we've had where it's just bubbling up like you dropped an Alka-Seltzer in, but this one seems pretty mellow. Well, let's try this out. Well, the aroma.
And the first thing I noticed is the pumpkin.
The pumpkin?
Hitting my nose, which we were already, I don't know about you, I was definitely picking that up just as it was pouring. This is how strong the aromas are in this beer.
Yes. And the pumpkin, it is, and you can akin this to like pumpkin pie, which is fantastic, because I love pumpkin pie around this time.
So I'm picking up a little bit of the spice.
Almost a very nutmeggy, the aromas.
Maybe a little bit of the cinnamon or the allspice.
Yeah, I could do this. Yeah.
All right.
Nice blend.
It's a nice aroma anyway. Let's
cheers. Try that. Cheers.
Cheers.
I quite enjoy this.
The first thing that hits is a little bit of a roasted pumpkin flavor, along with the spices.
And even the mouthfeel. Like when it first hits your tongue, you could get the splash of what you smell plus the taste. It's a good combination. Yeah. And then it kind of mellows out.
It leaves a... It's probably the spices that I would imagine that leaves my mouth just a little dry at the end, but that quickly goes away.
And it's It's actually the smell and the taste. I think that works well in combination.
It does. The spices are really in the swallow as well. They come out really well.
Yep. Ooh. Makes me choke too. So it's the pumpkin taste is there. It's very different than any other type of beer because it's a pumpkin beer. But it's interesting that now not getting too specifics, but do you put hops in a pumpkin ale? I couldn't find out if we did.
Yeah, typically I believe there would be hops, but I'm not picking up much in the way of hops. And
because it doesn't have that hoppy taste. It's very.
It doesn't. No. Yeah. Here we go. There are definitely hops in it, but it's not very bitter. So I'd say it's fairly lightly hopped because I think they're trying to go for more of the pumpkin pie flavors, the pumpkin and the spice all together, and too much hops would overpower or maybe even conflict with that.
Yeah, because that's because even the cinnamon in there, the tones of cinnamon that you could taste. Just. It ties the beer together. Although I think it's a fantastic beer and everything, I still have to rate this a 4. And the reason I say a 4 overall is this is a beer that 4 to me is something I would definitely go out and buy. And now that I just said that, I said I could change it to 5. Because what I do, because 5 would be the beer I would run out and buy.
But is it a top quality beer to you?
This is, well, that's the issue we were having. It doesn't come out very often, and I really enjoy it, so I would choose this beer over something else around this time. If it were offered year-round, I would probably not buy it all the time, which is why I'll waver between 4 and 5, but we have to choose.
See, we were just talking about half stars between this, and it sounds like you're heading towards that half star.
I am not doing a half.
4.5 range.
Then, okay, so as a pumpkin ale and the other types of specialty flavored beers I've had, this is one of my favorites. So in terms of that, I would rate it a 5. But as an overall beer, I would say 4. I'm going to stick to my guns and say go back to 4. Just what pushes it to the 5 is just because it's not offered very much. And that's what makes it, I would run out and buy it, but it's only offered once a year, which changes the scale, but if I had to rate it, I would give it a 4.
Okay. So 4 out of 5 stars from Rawl. And in the same vein, in the end, I'm gonna say overall, if this was available year round, this would be a beer I would still pick up, possibly fairly regularly, but not all the time. So in terms of quality and my own interests and likes and dislikes, as well as how this fits the style, and I think it fits the style fairly well, I'm going to give this a 4-star. Or 4 maple leaves, whatever we go with. 4 out of 5 as well. What would make this a 5 though? I think it would have to be something that would just be that little bit more that I would want to drink this a lot more often. But as a harvest beer, I think it's fair to give it. I think it is fair to give it a 4. It's a little bit more pumpkin flavor would be nice.
Yes.
I think that would improve it. I'd like to see just a little richer. I suppose maybe the sweetness that you expect from pumpkin pie. Now, so we're into mid-October, right? We're pretty much almost exactly into mid-October now. So if you have your chance, go out and get it. Or one of the various other pumpkin ales that are available on the market, whatever you happen to have in your vicinity of the Great White North. Because I'm not sure what the distribution is. But this beer right here, this is worth picking up. Okay?
And that's it.
Alright, well thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.